All right, good evening everyone and welcome back to the 5-digit United States Cup. We are here in the lower bracket of the minor league, bringing you Massachusetts B versus Maryland B here on the C stream, I believe. And it is looking to be quite a good one as both of these teams match up quite interestingly into each other despite the seed difference. I am Bless, bringing you the commentary this evening with my co-commentator Steve. How are you doing tonight, man?
Doing pretty well. I just got out of winning a match, so I'm in a good mood.
Great.
All right. Let's see. I think this one, Massachusetts is the higher seed, but we've seen some pretty good performances from Maryland on, I think, especially round of 32.
Yeah, and not only that, if you've been keeping up with the action today, and there's been a lot of it, we've seen a good amount of upsets today. In fact, just earlier, about half an hour ago or so, we saw NorCal B losing in the upper bracket to Florida B, so third seed losing to sixth seed. And funny enough, the winner of this match will have to face NorCal B in the next round. So a little bit of a shakeup in the bracket coming from that upset. And then we had another upset earlier, even earlier, the other NorCal team in the Major League falling to New Jersey. So plenty of upsets today. We might see another one here coming out from Maryland, depending on how they perform. Massachusetts, looking pretty decent so far in the tournament, losing very close match in the first round against Illinois. That went all the way to tiebreaker. Or sorry, that's the second round. Misreading the bracket there. Starting strong, winning their first match against Ohio B, a clean 5-0 sweep, and then a very close loss against Illinois to actually get upset and sent into this lower bracket, where they looked somewhat comfortable against Stateless B, taking their match 6-3. There will be a couple warm-ups to go through here, so we will just keep yapping a bit through those. Meanwhile, for Maryland B, 13th seed, continuing a lower bracket run after falling in... If I can find it, after falling in the second round of upper bracket, losing 6-0 to New Jersey. The first round matchup was against Washington. It was a somewhat comfortable 5-2 win, but New Jersey B, incredibly strong team, 4th seed, and so no surprise to see them fall there. Perhaps a little bit down on the spirits due to getting just swept, but continuing the run in the lower bracket, taking out the higher seed of SoCal C 6-2. So quite a strong performance there. Both of these teams looking good in the lower bracket, and I think it's going to be a good match today.
I think once you're into sort of like these further on stages of the lower bracket, that's really where you start seeing lots of upsets because so much can have changed in that time. And I think it can be a little bit less representative of maybe qualifiers sometimes.
Yeah, and another thing to note, a lot of these are, I know for a fact that there's a decent number of qualifier lobbies that just got screwed over by teams not having their full roster available, so there's a little bit of de-seeding going on in there. And then on top of that, there will also be scheduling issues throughout the tournament, which will lead to some inevitable 5v6s or 5v5s, or even 4v5s in some cases. I believe there's even a major league team that failed to, that led to a forfeit because the team just couldn't field 3 players.
Yeah, I did hear about it. I think that was yesterday. Or was it today?
Yes, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
It's either yesterday or the day before. Anyway, that was the first...
Do we know whose warm-up that was?
I actually don't know. Both of these are East Coast teams, so no potential hints coming from the team, from the name of the song or anything.
Yeah.
Blue Zenith is going to be
Blue Zenith warm-up? That's crazy. Oh yeah,
I mean, it is 727 today. Yeah. Happy when you see it day, guys. Happy when you see it day. We're all going to be seeing it all day today. See if we can get any scores.
apparently we've got someone watching from a movie theater? What do you mean you're watching from a movie theater?
More so, what are you doing in a movie theater on 727 day? Like, come on, you need to be at your home playing Osu, grinding the game. Like, playing this map specific or this song specifically. It doesn't have to be this map set of it. Preferably, you're playing the full map set by Asphyxia, but. And Arasaka rolling 27 points. I believe there's also 747 roll earlier. So
I feel like rolling
very interesting.
27 should just be auto win.
I know, right? I totally get you there. Anyway, it is the cut version, so only minute 28. So not a lot of time before we get into rules and pick ban. Before we get into that, I do want to talk about those a little bit ahead of time, as both of these teams have banned easy so far, but looking at their qualifier scores, Maryland B had one of their players FCing or almost FCing the easy in quals. And then they had another player, Arasaka, who looks to just be their permalobby GOAT, also putting up a solid 250k. So despite both of these teams banning easy every single round, every single match up until now, I do think it's going to be Massachusetts forced to ban that away. They also have banned easy every single round, although it hasn't been a consistent easy and hidden 2 ban for them. They have shaken it up a little bit, letting the hidden 2 go through in the first round against Ohio B, and actually winning that when it got picked against them. But Maryland's probably a little bit more comfortable on those hidden reading sort of gimmick type picks. So it'll be interesting to see who sort of loses the battle of these lower skill cap skill sets among these two teams.
One thing I found really interesting about kind of the way that the more reading-oriented picks have been formatted in this tournament is because there's always the easy. I feel like the hidden 2s have had a lot more aim relative to patterning or reading difficulty than you'll sometimes see in other tournaments. So I think we get slightly different teams that are willing to play that hidden 2, because if you're kind of on the fence about it, if you're able to play the hidden, even if you don't normally think of yourself as a low AR player, it's probably more approachable than you might think.
Yeah, for sure. There's actually, in this round's particular hidden 2, there's been a lot of wide angle aim, also just long aim. So not necessarily 1-2 jumps, but definitely a heavy aim requirement
Yeah, it's
in this
definitely
hidden 2
awkward
and all
aim,
the
but
hidden
it's aim.
2s so far. Yes. Anyway, we will be getting into the rolls. It is Arasaka rolling the higher number for Maryland. Both of these teams starting with MA in their name.
Yeah,
So
not helpful.
gonna be a lot of trip ups. Hopefully we don't mix it up too much. Well, we did touch on the weaknesses for these teams. I do want to also touch on their strengths, as Massachusetts be notably #1 in all of minor league qualifiers on No Mod 2 and No Mod 4, as well as #2 on the Hard Rock 2. That was a incredibly difficult flow alt pick that also had some timing issues, and despite that, they put up some incredible scores on that map. They're also incredibly strong on the DTs, so we could be looking at Maryland trying to ban those away. On the side of Maryland, they are just incredibly strong on mechanics overall, very well balanced. I think they do have a little bit of an edge in that hidden pool, so that is likely where we're going to see them try to attack that. But it will be the first bans coming out for Maryland. It is going to be the free mod 1, and then for Massachusetts, the easy one and the DT3. So hidden 2 still in the pool.
Interesting. I think for
And no
Maryland,
more.
other than those hiddens, I think they also have pretty solid aim roster. Um, very similar in qualifiers on the Nomad one, and they actually won the Hard Rock one and DT one. Actually, I think Maryland B had the highest DT1 score in qualifiers, interestingly.
So both of these strongs incredibly strong on the DT1, on the DTs in general.
Yeah.
It is going to be the hidden 2 ban, so no more hidden 2 in this match.
Rip.
All the reading banned out. These teams do not like to read. I guess there's the free mod 2, but Yeah, partial reading.
That kind of makes me think we're just gonna see them both avoid the Fremont too.
Yeah, most likely. We are going to see the Nomad 5 pick coming out here, and it is following a DT3 ban from the side of Massachusetts. So potentially smelling weakness on this high BPM tapping. And looking to be a strong pick for Maryland. On their tapping roster, they do have Over the Sea, who played this, I believe, just yesterday or the day before in their first quarterfinals lower bracket match. Of course, we're going to be seeing Arasaka in. He is their Perma Lobby GOAT. He's just playing everything for them. And then I believe we should be seeing either Calico Cat or maybe Sungjae. I don't know if we'll be seeing Sungjae. I think it's going to be Calico Cat though, because they are comfortable on all sorts of high BPM, whether it be tapping or the high BPM aim on that hidden one. We saw them in on their other match. As for the side of Massachusetts, we are looking at Serenthi and I believe Vernwerk to be playing most of their matches, or most of the maps here. Serenthi, the Perma Lobby GOAT, but side of Massachusetts, of course. Incredibly strong on the mechanics, although a little bit weak on the hidden, so if we do see those hiddens, you might be stepping out for those. Other than those two, I believe their tapping roster is just actually Serenthi, Umu, and Puri. So no Vernwerk expected for this Nomad 5.
Goofy 3. That's not how that works. Alright, Umu is in fact in for this. Probably just taking a quick look at the map right before starting out.
Yep, lots of teams do that, just stalling out the timers. Very common practice. There will be the GLHFs coming out in the chat, and the rosters are locked in exactly how I predicted. And we should be entering shortly into this map. So 233 BPM, very fast tapping, a little bit of stamina as we do have some longer bursts in there. And there is just a tad touch of finger control as well towards the back half with some doubles in the final Ki. But we are getting right into it. Open Your Third Eye by Schwank. 6.3 stars, a little bit high on the higher side of this pool, but as you know, speed a little bit overweighted in that star rating. And a little bit of Bancho issues.
Okay,
we are back in.
There we go.
And Umu finding some chain misses to start us off here. Pruri and Calico Cat are going to trade right back, so it is still Arasaka, Over the Sea, and Serenthi. Hold on.
Looks like it was Bancho
like...
on Umu.
Yeah. Thank you, Bancho. But that does not look like a Bancho miss. That's a very real slider break from Umu here, as we head right into this first Ki section. Lots of fast bursts coming right away. This song starts fast, it hits you fast, and it does not let up. Pruri finding another break here at the beginning of this Ki.
The C missing at the start of this Ki, but still looking pretty solid overall for Maryland here. I think the gap is staying about stable. Oh, but with a miss from Arasaka, that was traded by Serenthi, actually, now that I think about it. So it's staying pretty stable, but close. Basically, any kind of mistake here from either team could start swinging this in one direction, unless it gets traded like they have been so far.
Yep, less than 20,000 score the gap, and no more FCs remaining as we head into this middle slow section. Calico Cat on a very strong recovery on that reverse choke, as is Umu, finding some combo from that Ki section, managing to hold after the initial break.
That said, Calico Cat has a pretty substantial AC advantage over Umu here for our main scoring players of the two teams. He's going to keep that bit of advantage for Maryland, even though recovery from Puri as well is quite strong.
Yep, and very long stream there as we head into this last Ki section. It is still very close into the ends, just now leaning in favor of Massachusetts, as Over the Sea's accuracy sitting at 91% at the bottom, but here it is really going to be on the combo breaks. If anyone finds any break here, that is just going to be the map decided in an instant. But everyone holding to the end.
And it looks like Calico Cat's accuracy is really helping out Maryland here with how close it is, but it's not quite enough.
Yeah, and that accuracy matched by Serenthi as well, sitting at almost 98%, and Arasaka is going to drop. That is going to be the map decided, I believe, unless... but there's no final break at the end, and Arasaka's miss at the end there really just securing the point for Massachusetts. And that is a break point, I believe, as well on the first pick of Maryland. Umu with
Fantastic score from
reverse
Calico
choke.
Cat, but just 3 really solid scores from all the Massachusetts player. Not able to carry that on his own.
Yep, very unfortunate for the side of Maryland as they stumble on this first pick of theirs. And it's going to be Massachusetts looking to consolidate that break point with a glue point of their own in this next pick and their first pick of the match.
Sometimes with those first picks, you feel really confident going in, but first pick nerves, man. I don't know if that's what it was or what, but it's definitely a thing.
First pick nerves are definitely very real. It is going to be the Nomad 4 though, so very heavy slider tech, a little bit of rhythm reading as well, and then aim control in the middle as well. I would say this is... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, kind of a practice map at the start too. There's definitely some combo that's free if you know what to expect, and very not free if you don't know what to expect.
Yeah, and even as you go on through the map, there are definitely some sliders, which can be difficult to sight read. I know there's a circle slider closer towards the middle of the map, where if you haven't practiced it and you don't have it memorized, you're just going to guess wrong. It's literally just a 50-50 on if you guess right in terms of which direction the slider goes. And because, of course, there's a slider tick on the slider, you will break combo if you don't aim the slider properly.
Yeah, it is.
So,
it's one of those ones where it's possible to cheese, but unless you're expecting to cheese it, you better hope you guess right.
Yeah. I would very much so expect that these teams have practiced the map as it is the second match of the quarterfinals for the both of them. But not really a surprise pick from Massachusetts here. They did get Nomad number 1 on that Nomad 4 in qualifiers, as I said earlier. So looking to be a very strong pick for them.
That's it. Actually, looking at the round of 16 and round of 32, Maryland has actually been... oh, wait, no, I was mixing it up with Nomad 5 for round of 32. But round of 16, Maryland did very well on the Nomad 4. But that was a pretty different type of Nomad 4, if I remember correctly. So that might not be too representative of this.
Yeah, so did you see the round of 16 or the round of 32 Nomad 4?
Round of 16, Maryland has had a actually better Nomad 4 score than Massachusetts, but that was a very different Nomad 4.
Yeah, last round very much so aim heavy, almost like a second Nomad 1. But this one much more like a traditional Nomad 4, lots of slider tech, lots of mech tech, and we are getting right into the action here. On the side of Massachusetts, it is going to be Serenthi once again fulfilling their role as the perma lobby, and it is going to be the two tapping members of the team swapped out for Vernwerg and Jose. On the side of Maryland, we do have Arasaka also matching the perma lobby. And then over to C, staying in once again, and it is going to be Sungjae coming in for the first time of the match. Very strong mechanics player, can fill a lot of these Nomad aim and mechanics picks for the side of Maryland. As we are seeing right away lots of complicated slider shapes, as I'm sure if you've been following the action, you will have seen many times today. And that is a lot of early breaks coming out here already. Only Serenthi and Sungjae, the full combos remaining in the lobby to hold.
Yeah, I think kind of this first quarter has probably like half of the most difficult sliders, except for that circle. I actually think they all hit the circle, so they've clearly practiced the map.
Yep, everyone hitting the circle.
Pretty close between these two teams. A bit of a combo advantage. Actually, hold on. I think the combos are actually pretty equal here. It's mostly AC, and scores are very close.
Yeah, it's going to be the accuracy difference, but Serenthi almost scratching that 95%, while the highest at Maryland is going to be Sungjae now finding a break on the aim there, sitting at 93, and that is not going to matter as much anymore. Finding another break, this time traded out by Jose, but that score should be shifting very quickly in the side of Massachusetts.
Oh, but Vernwerg dropping a big combo for Massachusetts there. if Arasaka and Over the Sea can hold on for a bit longer, that could potentially flip this back over for Maryland, but not with Over the Sea breaking there. That's going to keep it back to equal.
Yep, and it is a very short map, only 2 minutes and 37 seconds. And as you can see in these players' pie charts, we are almost at the end, just a quarter of the map left, and there is very little combo density at the end. And as we approach the ending, 40,000 score lead, 50,000, and it is very close. But it looks like Sorrenthi's FC. Yeah. Just overall, actually, it's a big gap difference on the AC overall.
It's a very good score from Sorrenthi.
Yep, a little bit of a break on nothing by Over the Sea at the end there, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. It's not going to tip the scales too much here. It was already in the bag for Massachusetts the moment that we entered that break. And Sorrenthi closing out a very nice FC here. Arasaka unable to match his permalobby, their opposing permalobby. Unfortunately, finding a slider break a little bit earlier on in the map. Or not even a slider break, a miss actually. A miss aim, I believe. Sungjae the one to the slider break, though.
Pretty solid scores from both Arasaka and Over the Sea, but not quite enough. Very close map once again, though.
Yep, less than 100,000 score difference once again. But it will be Massachusetts consolidating that break point, with the pick going back over to the side of Maryland. And it's kind of interesting because they've lost on tapping here, so it does leave you to wonder where they're going to go next with this. You definitely don't want to go into the Nomad 2, as it is another flowing pick similar to qualifiers that Massachusetts got #1 on. They might go into one of the DTs here, and they will go into the DT4. So very short map once again, could be a bit of a kind of toss-up pick, but it's also very combo gameable. Difficult, very difficult to act, however.
Yeah, definitely difficult to act. A lot of finger control in this one. Sort of less dense in the tapping, but heavy finger control.
I mean, there are a couple mean, very mean 1/6 300 BPM bursts, along with that little square stream in the middle of the map. So there are definitely combos, there are definitely patterns to break on. Overall performance on DT4 so far have been pretty fair for both of these teams. I don't think this particularly favors one team or another, but we could be seeing something different. Of course, we have no way of knowing what is on those score sheets for either of these teams. So maybe Maryland practicing the map and feeling very confident on it. Once again, I am expecting that tapping duo to come back in on the side of Massachusetts. Although I do believe when they played the DT4 last week, they did have one of those members step out. I'm expecting it's Sorrenthi plus one of Unu and Puri, but I wouldn't be too surprised if one of those two of Unu and Puri step out for this. And it does look like it'll be Vernwerg filling. So yep, GL's coming out in chat, and it will be Vernwerg filling out that third slot. They can play sort of general mechanics as well as hard rock and high AR, so not too surprised to see them. They do fill quite a good bit of the matches. And over on the side of Maryland, it is Arasaka once again still on the Nomad 4 actually. And then filling out that tapping roster, it will be Over the Sea and Calico Cat once again.
Thank you, Bancho. We love to see
Bancho
this.
Yeah. Bancho is very much so
Panic
struggling.
another try. Okay. Correct map.
Okay, Arasaka. Yep, Arasaka is in the map, in fact, this time.
And of course,
We
this
are
being
right
the
into the
DG4, we are already a quarter of the way in.
Yep, very short map, not even a minute and 30 seconds, so even shorter than your normal TV-sized farm maps, as Over the Sea is going to find a miss aim on that burst right before the break. So that is a combo lead to the side of Massachusetts, I believe. But that is still the early stages, and the difficulty will ramp up quite a bit here, as all these players looking to be hold combo for now. But the difficulty will only continue to ramp up here. as we are seeing some 4-note bursts, some 6-note bursts, and not on top of the tapping requirement, you do have a little bit of aim as everyone is going to hit the square, but Arasaka breaking right before it. Puri going to trade right after alongside Burn Rig. So this could flip over. I don't believe it will, though. There's no combo left.
Not with Calico dropping there, I don't think. Before Sorrenti, I should say.
Yep, Sorrenti also going to drop that combo on one of those bursts. So there is no combo left. No way for Maryland to pull it back at the end. And it is 350,000 score in the favor of Massachusetts B. Second break point of the match for them.
Sorrenti once again with the top score in the lobby over 800k. Can see why he's perma lobby.
Yeah. And that is only a single slider break from them as well. No misses. Puri also on the no miss, just a single slider break. Looks like they struggled a little bit at the beginning with Yak potentially. So a little bit of a lower score, but still very respectable, almost 700k. And Massachusetts so far looking very comfortable on these tapping picks that Maryland is trying to attack them on. So Maryland might have to rethink their strategy here, as 2 tapping picks in a row not working out for them, and it is once again Massachusetts B's pick to consolidate a second break point.
It's difficult when you have like a set of maps that you feel like you're playing well on, but the other team is too. You just sometimes need to really refocus and find a different set. Even if you're maybe not getting quite as high scores on the maps, it's about winning them, not just getting the best scores you can get.
Yeah, of course. And there is a little bit of a dilemma at play in those situations when you're picking the skill set that you're most confident on, that you think you can beat the other team on, and it's just not working out because and sometimes you'll just feel like, oh, I just need to play a little bit better. If we just play that little bit better, then we would take those points. So it is a bit of a dilemma between continuing to pick the same skill set and just trying to play that 1 or 2% better, or picking another skill set and trying to change your strategy overall. It will be the hidden 3 pick though, so another sort of gambly toss-up like pick coming out, this time from the side of Massachusetts. And this is not what I would expect from them at all, actually. This is a very surprising pick to me. Although I will mention, however, the last time Massachusetts played this in this week, Sorrenti dropped a 700k score on this. So that means they must have hit either the beginning or the ending, because as we know, those are the 2 big difficulty spikes of this map. The middle 20 to 80% of the map being mostly a nothing burger. And then, of course, famously, the Pentagon at the start of that intersection is going to be making or breaking a lot of the points on this
so
map.
far, I don't think I've seen anyone on the in the minor league hit the Pentagon on matches that I've commentated or watched, but we've got some good players in here today. I could see Sorrenti hitting it, especially.
I know we saw a couple players hit it in the NorCal B versus Florida B match earlier. But yeah, it's definitely very difficult, and especially since we are in the losers bracket. A little bit weaker players overall than what we'd see in the upper bracket, so probably lower chances we see anyone hit it. Lots of early breaks coming out from both sides here, in fact. Massachusetts B, once again, it's going to be Sorrenti hitting the Pentagon.
Sorrenti hits the Pentagon.
Everyone, it is a full lobby wipe. It is a full lobby wipe, except for Sorrenti, the only player to hit that Pentagon, as he is going to be looking to hold that combo and run with it for his team once again, just like they did yesterday. Sir Balderdash and Jose going to be closing out this 3-man hidden roster for Massachusetts, sort of hidden mechanics, one might say. In Maryland, once again, Arasaka taking to that perma lobby role, and it is once again Calico Cat and Over the Sea, so not exactly who I would expect in from them, but I do know Over the Sea can play a little bit of these other gimmicky picks, and Calico Cat Actually, this is a bit of a surprise for me on Calico Cat playing this. Arasaka and Over the Sea, however, recovering nicely. Calico Cat as well as Jose is going to find another break on what looked like to be one of those space bursts. And Sir Balderdash as well missing at the end of that little space burst section, space burst pattern. So combos breaking on the side of Massachusetts in the middle of this map. This is not what you want to see. Meanwhile, Maryland holding nicely on all three of these recoveries for now. So it is really up to Serenthi and how long he can hold this full combo and if it'll matter or not.
Calico Cat missing as well is going to make it a lot harder for Maryland to come back here. I think a lot of this is going to come down to the ending, but that should keep it a bit more stable.
Yep, still less than a 50k score lead for Massachusetts, but Serenthi holding on to that FC. There's actually not a big difference between Serenthi's FC and the recoveries of Arasaka and Over the Sea, as they didn't have a lot of combo going into the Pentagon, only around 80 combo or so. So, especially with Oversea holding 97, almost 98 accuracy, that is going to be mostly nullified and matched as we see them both around 400k score. Arasaka a little bit further behind, down at 91, low or like mid 91% accuracy, so much lower score coming out from them as Calico Cat is going to find another break traded by Balderdash in this next Ki as we are slowly approaching the last 20% of this map.
It looks like both of the strong combos from Maryland B have dropped here. I think that's probably just going to be it unless Serenthi makes fairly tragic mistakes here in this last quarter.
I mean, there is a square pattern at the end here that is very quickly approaching as well, but Maryland B just struggling to make any sort of combo. So even if Serenthi does break on it, and he will break, but
it was a full lobby wipe, I think.
Yeah, almost no one holding it through that little section there. And the score is also ballooned to almost 250k here, still climbing in the favor of Massachusetts. And there's no map left at the end here. So yeah, Massachusetts once again consolidating their break point and going up to a 4-0 lead in the match after quite an impressive performance from Serenthi, hitting the Pentagon and holding combo all the way through the middle of that map there. Respectable score on Over the Sea as well, however, 500k, very strong, holding big combo. And actually, do you see it? Do you see anything, Mr. Steve? I think I see something appropriate for this day here. I'm very happy to see this on this particular day.
It's the right day. If there's any day to see it, it's today.
That very much so it is. Anyway, back to Maryland's pick this time. And we'll see if they continue to try and pick tapping or if they decide to change up the strategy a little bit. I do believe there was only the DT2 and Nomad 2 left. Nomad 2 being a #1 placement in qualifiers for Massachusetts, so I don't think they'll be picking that. But the DT2, 240 BPM burst, and we have seen a lot of players get tripped up on the aim on that map as well. So they could be going for another tapping gamble on that, especially after losing the Hidden 3 as well. Perhaps not feeling confident on attacking the Massachusetts' hidden skill set. But yeah, Massachusetts showing dominance on a variety of skill sets so far. Breakpointing Maryland twice on the tapping, and then winning their own mech tech gimmick pick, as well as the hidden alt reading pick. It will be the DT2.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I probably wouldn't pick the hidden one if I was Maryland after that, just because I feel like the hidden one is so easy to make, like, to just like miss a bunch on, and Serenthi's playing out of his mind clearly today, so I feel like it would be very scary to go up against that.
I actually wouldn't have minded the hidden one coming out from them, as it is a much longer map, around 4 minutes.
That's true.
So there is a very large consistency component to it compared to the rest of the maps that we've seen so far in this match. I believe every match less than 3 minutes so far. For every map less than 3 minutes so far. Bunch of very short maps being played.
That's
And this is,
easy
once
to
again...
feel very risky against Massachusetts as well, given the more, this is more like a faster no mud too.
Yep.
Correct.
I wouldn't say there's a lot of flowing requirement
Oh
on this.
wait, no, yes, you're right. I got mixed up. Yeah, no, this is more speed.
This is very much so just burst speed and just not tripping up on short aim at this high BPM.
Yeah.
Speaking
Definitely
rosters,
some finger control as well.
Yeah, a few repeated triples and some triples spaced between singles. So some testing in that aspect as well. On to the rosters, however, in for Maryland, once again, Arasaka continuing his perma lobby, backed up by Calico Cat once again on the tapping, and this time Sungjae coming in actually played the DT2 in their previous match of the quarterfinals. So once again, coming in to fill that third tapping player's role on this pick, much more so about the raw speed. On the side of Massachusetts, it will be Saranthi once again continuing their rampage as Massachusetts perma lobby pillar. Backing him up will be Puri coming back in for the speed and tapping skill sets, as well as Sir Balderdash making an appearance in place of Umu. So perhaps the aim requirement, the fast aim, going to cause enough discomfort for Umu to get them to step out and for Sir Balderdash to come in and fill their place. But as we are getting right into the map, you can see immediately very high BPM, 248 BPM. And there are bursts, there are triples and quints, nothing longer than that, but the aim, while not spaced much, is actually quite intense. And it will be Sungjae to find a chain miss on the aim immediately, followed by Arasaka as well. Puri going to trade one of those out, but an early combo lead to Massachusetts.
Yeah, Sungjae not looking as comfortable as the other players in the lobby here on this. Saranthi does miss though, which is very good for Maryland.
Yeah, but it's still Sir Balderdash on that FC, 94% matched by Calico Cat at the 95. And it is a very short map, 1 minute 50 seconds. And as we head into this back section, we will see the players tested by the most difficult that this map has to offer. Recoveries not coming in quite yet as Sungjae finds another break on the aim there in this slower section. Arasaka building a nice recovery matched by Puri, but Saranthi has a secondary recovery, and Sungjae just struggling to find recovery, once again breaking on this high BPM aim, and we are into this last section of the map with a 150 score lead for Massachusetts.
Saka and Calico Cat. Oh, but Sir Balderdash does miss. That's very bad for Massachusetts.
And Calico Cat is still holding on to this. It's gonna flip. It could flip at the end. Puri breaks as well. Arasaka trades, but it's 50,000 in the favor of Maryland. Calico Cat is still holding this FC. Sungjae finally finding his footing here at the end of the map, holding on to combo 300 recovery, matched by no one. Calico Cat's going to break at the end, but it's still almost 200,000 combo heading into the ending, and that's 200,000, and Maryland finally off the back of an almost FC from Calico Cat and some unfortunate breaks from Sir Balderdash and Saranthi, finding their first point in the match.
With nearly 1 million score, really pulling through for Maryland here, letting them win their first point. Looks like the tapping strategy finally worked for them. But that's starting to exhaust the mechanics picks. I think they're going to need to find something else after this, even though it's finally working. I don't think Nomad 2 looks very good.
Yeah, I would not want to pick Nomad 2 if I were on Maryland right now. So they're definitely going to be very happy about finally taking one of these tapping picks. But already having lost 2 out of the 4 tapping maps in the pool, with the final tapping map in the pool being Flowing Heavy, and one that Massachusetts is expected to be very dominant on. Things are going to be looking difficult for Maryland in their future picks. But they do at least save their lives for now, and they do manage to secure another pick for themselves after Massachusetts' next pick here. It will be the Hard Rock 3.
Looks like Massachusetts continuing on with these more gimmicky types of maps that it looks like they just feel very dominant on. This is a bit more on the aim control and finger control side as opposed to tapping, but very, very difficult to act map as well.
Yep, notably we've seen some incredible low-ac combo gamers going at it on this map. And as you mentioned, bit of a rhythm gimmick, going to make this map incredibly difficult to act properly, especially with the hard rock, making it that OD10. Incredibly good song though. Absolute banger.
Banger song. It's a fun map. It's just so hard to act.
That it is. I do wish the OD were a little bit lower so I could enjoy it a little bit more. But it will be GLHFs coming into the lobby here. Once again, Serenthi, this time backed up by Vernwerg and Jose, so more of the aim mechanics players backing him up. Vernwerg, pretty good on Hard Rock from what we've seen so far. And Jose also playing Hard Rock 3 and Hard Rock 2 this week, I believe, so looking to repeat a solid performance here. On the side of Maryland is once again going to be Arasaka, continuing their perma lobby, backed up by Over the Sea and Calico Cat once again. So this does look to be basically their main core here, as we are not seeing any of the other players come into this too much. Some early breaks coming in here. Massachusetts still holding on to the three-way, in fact, and that is going to lead to a small advantage for them.
Vernwerg holding, well, he was holding 96 AC, now down to 94, but that's still very impressive accuracy going into the first quarter here.
Yep, and as you noted, very low accuracies in this lobby across the board. Nobody above 90% on the side of Maryland, and Jose going to find a miss aim, I believe. But
we did
also
see
on the side of Massachusetts
reset from Maryland, which is just going to let Serenthi run away with the score here.
Yep, and they are recovering accuracy as well, finally getting over 90%. The second player in the lobby to do so, as Over the Sea will find another break on one of those aim patterns. And it is already almost 300k score, as Over the Sea finds another chain miss on the aim. We're going to trade one out, but Arasaka breaking right before the break. No pun intended. There's a bit of a slow section here, but this score lead should just be ballooning in favor of Massachusetts here. Serenthi continues to hold on to the FC here.
Yeah, and kind of the first half of this map is a lot more than the first half of this map. There's quite a bit of breaks in the third quarter here. So there's a lot less map than you might think.
I will say this last small section here, as Jose finds a miss aim, this last section is quite dense in the combo, and then just the last quarter has basically nothing in it. So I do believe this will just be another point for Massachusetts as the score lead cusps 500k. Serenthi still holding on to the FC, and there are no combos anywhere in sight on the side of Maryland. And yeah, the map is basically over at this point. There's very little combo density at the end here. So we'll just be looking to see if Serenthi can hold on to that 91, almost 92% FC here. Very chill song. I really do like this little train crossing sound effect that they put in here.
Great.
Also
song.
very much matches very well with the background. Very good background choice here. But yep, Serenthi will be holding out that FC for Massachusetts. And it is a 600k score lead. Pardon me, it was an FC. I do believe that's an FC.
You love to see the 91% A rank FC.
Yes, we do.
Very typical for this map. If you're gonna FC, getting an S rank on this is very impressive.
Yep. So it will be Maryland with one more pick, potentially more, in them. If they want to start their comeback, it has to start now, because Massachusetts, with that glue point of theirs, is going to put themselves on match point. Maryland out of tapping picks at the moment, so they're going to have to look for something else. And that really does put the question to them, as they've struggled on all the gimmick picks that Massachusetts have picked so far, and losing quite narrowly on all their tapping picks that they have exhausted here.
Massachusetts has kind of shown fluency on a lot of different skill sets here, making it quite difficult to pick against them. Looks like we might be getting a timeout as they try and figure out what they're playing well on right now, maybe.
Yep. On top of just discussing general strategy in these timeouts, 2 minutes is actually maybe enough time to set a score on a map and see how comfortable you are. Like you could probably play, because on top of the 90-second timer that already exists to pick a map, it's another 2 minutes, so that's 3.5 minutes. You could easily set a score on a map and see how you feel.
Yeah.
So I definitely think there's going to be, on top of pick strategy discussion, there's definitely going to be players playing some maps, maybe trying to set a score, get to the results screen on one or some other options, see what they have here.
Yeah, just kind of thinking through some of these picks here, a lot of what remains kind of just at a glance feels favored towards Massachusetts, but I do think that well, I think part of what's contributing to it is as we've gotten up a little bit in the star rating now, I think some of the like basically Sorrenti shines through and is able to carry on a lot of picks that might have otherwise been a bit more even in previous rounds. But I was initially saying aim, but I'm feeling like Sorrenti is going to get a good score on all of those maps, and unless you've got someone else who's FCing, it's just hard to want to pick that.
Yeah, I am looking at the chat right now, and I see that Quantum Space-Time is actually in the lobby for them. Notably, their hidden and reading player, putting up an incredible score in the qualifiers on the Easy for Maryland. But as we do know, the Easy is banned out, and Maryland themselves did ban out the hidden too. So if anything, if they wanted to abuse reading on any map in this pool, it would either be the free mod 1 or the free mod 2. Free mod 1 a little bit difficult on the reading, a little bit dense. I just don't know if Quantum Space-Time has it in him to play that easy on the free mod 1 for the 2.6 multiplier. So they could be more favored for the free mod 2. Oh, they did. You're right. My bad there.
Maryland banned the free mod 1, which had made me think they might avoid the free mod 2, but I could definitely see them going free mod 2 here just to try and really capitalize on the fact that they do have a bit of reading advantage.
Yep.
And that one might be a bit more within like just hidden range as well, because I don't think you really want to do easy on the free mod 2 with the 1.6 multiplier.
Yeah, or I believe it's 1.5. I thought it was 1.5. Anyway, 1.5,
it might be 1.5,
basically the same. Yeah. 750k to 800k score cap is quite sad for the easy players on this free mod 2.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is 1.5.
Yeah. And on the side, however, on the side of Massachusetts, for that low AR hidden reading, they do have Jose for hidden, but I'm not sure how comfortable they're on that low AR, the AR8 hidden reading. They have played the hiddens in the past for Massachusetts, but the AR8 could be something that trips them up a little bit. It's going to be the Hard Rock 2.
Interesting pick.
I actually did forget about this when discussing the tapping options in the pool, because there's a lot of tapping in this map, along with some mech tech elements and swing elements in the slower sections. But notably, a very long, I believe 32 note or so stream that actually slows down after the first 8 notes from 180 to 170 BPM.
Yeah.
So that catches off a lot of players, notably BU breaking combo earlier in the NorCal versus Florida match earlier today, simply by overstreaming it. Very possible to overstream and break combo due to the increased OD from Hard Rock. And on top of that, this is CS 6.5, so you do have to be quite precise with your flowing. It's also, on top of the overstreaming or understreaming, it's also very easy to just simply misaim these streams as well.
I think it's kind of easy to forget that this is a tapping pick because it's Hard Rock 2, so there's still a substantial amount of aim in this map.
Over the sea rolling 727 for 72 points. That can only mean good luck for them. Surely they set a good score on this map.
Wait, so we got, I think it was Arasaka rolling 27 earlier and now rolling 72. That's wild.
Yeah. It is certainly a very blessed day for Osu history and Osu culture. I mean, looking at the rosters here, we are going to see Arasaka and once again for Maryland, backed up this time by Over the Sea. I do believe they played this earlier in their previous match on this, and it will be Quantum Spacetime making their first appearance in the match. I would not expect them to be a hidden or tapping player, but they might have played it the previous time. I can't quite remember. I would have to check the lobby link.
I think a lot of reading players end up also being good at other kind of gimmicky skill sets in my experience, and higher CS tends to be included in that, even though AR10.
Yeah, some prominent examples of that being like Boshiman, I guess. Boshiman, high CS, high AR. Anyway, on the side of Massachusetts, it will be Serenthi continuing their permanent lobby tear, backed up this time by Vernwerg and Jose, who I believe played this map in their previous match in this round in the quarterfinals. Going to be some early breaks coming out from Quantum Spacetime, finding a couple misaims on those tapping patterns. And the first long tapping pattern of the map, everyone going to hit it, holding so far. The small score advantage to Massachusetts off of Spacetime's break. And Arasaka and Over the Sea both finding breaks on those streams. So it is just a full collapse from Maryland on their own pick here, as Massachusetts looking very strong, still holding 2 full combos as Jose finds a miss aim.
So again, we're seeing pretty crazy act from Serenthi, and right as I say that, it's that one stream where everybody loses all the act on.
Yep, Vernwerg also finding a, I believe they just mis-aimed the stream looking at their UR bar. Breaking combo there. So the spacing changes along with the stamina requirement, perhaps catching them off guard. But we are in another slow section. It is still 250,000 score in favor of Massachusetts, as Serenthi is still holding on to that combo despite the lower accuracy. Arasaka actually up at 92% act though, but Jose going to be exceeding that at 94%. And it is looking quite rough for Maryland at the moment as we head into this last KI section.
Arby's from Maryland looking pretty strong, but it's just not going to be enough, especially with Serenthi continuing to hold combo, and now Over the Sea breaking. Serenthi does miss, but I think it's a bit late. They might be able to gain. It's just a full
wipe from Maryland.
Yeah, full wipe from Maryland. Not going to be able to gain any ground on that. And I think at this point, it's probably a bit too late for Maryland to pull anything back. They're still continuing to lose score here.
I mean, there is one death stream at the end here. Vernwerg does find a chain miss on a stream there, but...
Yeah. We do see some misses from Jose, but it's not going to make too much of a difference.
Yep, and that is the end of the map. Massachusetts going to secure their victory in the match with another break point of over 300,000 score. And they secure the victory 6-1. Commiserations to Maryland. Unfortunately, not finding their footing on these tapping picks here. And they will be eliminated from the tournament. Unfortunately, their run ending right here at the quarterfinals. Commiserations to Maryland. Very well played. Thank you for playing. Massachusetts going to be moving on. The victors of the match looking solid on a variety of skill sets, but they do have to face in that next round that absolute titan that you're really questioning why are they in the lower bracket if you just look at it at a glance. Up against NorCal B next week.
California's been having it rough in this tournament so far.
They have been 2 losses on the same day from their A and B teams. But Massachusetts, perhaps looking to be on a bit of an upswing here. And NorCal B losing in a close one to Florida. But maybe there's room for Massachusetts to sort of poke around for any weaknesses in that Titan. But for now, it will be Massachusetts celebrating their win and progressing even further on to the tournament into the semifinals next week. So I do believe we have a couple more matches tonight. One should be starting in around 10 minutes from now. And then I believe there's another one after that as well.
Yes, there is. One at 3 UTC and one at 4 UTC.
Yep. So do be on the lookout for those. There may not be a notification in the streaming channel, so just be on the lookout on Twitch in general. They should be happening on the A and B streams. But for us at this casting booth on the C stream, that will be all from me. This has been Bless and Steve. Steve, any last words you would like to close out with?
Thanks to everybody for coming out and watching. Great match.
Yep. Thank you all. Thanks to Maryland B team for playing. All of y'all are great. And congratulations to Massachusetts for the win. That's going to be all from us for tonight. See you next time.